Welcome to the Arielle Knits YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do a 2-color brioche knit flat. So to start, I'm going to show you holding the yarn in my right hand. Hello. This is English style knitting or throwing. So we're going to start with the blue, which is our color A. So there was a yarn over on the last row. On the ends, make sure that if there's supposed to be a yarn over there, that it's still there. It may have fallen when you turned your work. So I'm going to stick my needle in and, knit. Then I'm going to bring the yarn to the front, slip the next stitch, yarn over to the back, and then knit that stitch. So wherever there's the other color or a purl, because if you're starting, you may have cast it on all with this color. So if you're just starting, you'd knit a stitch, slip a stitch and yarn over, knit a stitch, slip a stitch and yarn over. Since we've been building this up, we have these yarn overs and their accompanying stitches, and then the stitches that we're going to slip, if that makes sense. So I'm going to slip with the yarn in front, bring the yarn to the back, and then knit this next stitch with the yarn over that's with it, like so. So again, I'm going to bring my yarn back to the front, slip the stitch, and yarn over to the back, and then knit the next stitch with its accompanying yarn over from the previous row. And then I'm just going to continue doing this. I'm going to switch and hold the yarn in my left hand now. So I bring the yarn to the front, slip the next stitch, yarn over to the back, knit the next stitch together with its yarn over. Yarn to the front, slip the stitch, yarn over to the back, knit the next stitch with the yarn over that you did the previous row. And I'm going to continue that all the way down. If you want to get faster at it, I do it at the same time. I just bring the yarn to the front and slip it and yarn over at the same time. I'll show you that one more time if you want to try that. But I bring it to the front of the left needle, slip it with the stitch, and let it come back to the back. And then I knit the next one with its yarn over. All right. So you're hopefully working not on straight needles, but you're hopefully working on either a DPN or a circular needle. I'm working on a circular needle, and you want to be doing this so that you can slide your work back to the other end to work the next color. You end up working the same row twice because this, when you went over, you were really only working the knit stitches. You didn't work any of the purl stitches. So now we're going to work the purl stitches with the other color. So we just knit this stitch. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring our yarn to the front. We're going to slip the first stitch purlwise, bring the yarn over to the back, and since we're purling, the yarn over is going to come around the back and then back to the front, like so. Whoops, sorry. Like so, and then I'm going to purl the next stitch with the yarn over that you just did, the previous with the other color. So again, yarn in front, slip the next stitch, yarn over, and we're going to bring the yarn back to the front after the yarn over and purl the next stitch with its accompanying yarn over. I'm going to switch hands, do it with my left hand, and not left-handed, but like holding the yarn tension differently. So yarn in front, slip the next stitch, bring the yarn over the needle and back to the front, and then purl the next stitch with its accompanying yarn over. So yarn in front, slip, yarn over, and bring back to the front to purl the next stitch with its yarn over. That yarn over that comes with the stitch is sometimes called a shawl. So front. And how I do it quickly with this one is I keep the yarn over here, and then instead of keeping the yarn in the back, I just use my finger to move it forward like this. So that's how I'm able to do it a little bit quicker. Just have the yarn in the front, slip it with the next stitch, and then bring this yarn back over it so it's in the front again for a purl. And so at the end, you may have seen that this yarn over has slipped, so just make sure that that yarn over, you're not just purling this, you're purling it with its yarn over. Okay, and then you'll switch to the other side. So on the other side, you'll see that the pink is the knit stitches and the blue is the purl stitches. We still start with the first color that we had. We just will do purls on this side instead of knits. So still, I just really want to make sure you still start with the same color, because, and you'll know which color to start with because it's the color that doesn't have the shawls, doesn't have the yarn overs. If you started with pink, you wouldn't have any yarn overs to brioche knit or brioche purl. So you need to start with the color that doesn't have the shawls on the needles. So if you ever put your work down and are wondering, what color did I do last? You'll know by looking to see what colors the shawls are or the yarn overs, and the yarn overs will be the color that you just did. So I'm gonna hold my yarn in my left hand just because that's easiest for me, but we're basically doing the same thing we just did. So we're slipping this stitch purlwise, yarn over, and bring back to the front since we're purling with the blue. Front, slip, yarn over to the back, bring the yarn back to the front to purl, and purl, brioche purl the stitch in the shawl together. Ta-da! And we need to work the pink before we turn our work. So we're going to slide our stitches all the way back over here. Oops. And now we're going to work with the pink. So there's a shawl with this one, so we're going to brioche knit that with the shawl. Yarn in front, slip, yarn over, and we don't need to bring it to the front since we're knitting, and then we'll knit the next stitch with its shawl, and it'll kind of just fall down behind the stitch. And then we'll do that all the way down. So that is just the very basics of how you do 2-color brioche rib. It's really cool because it creates a fabric that's like 2-sided. Kind of get 2 different looks here. But yeah, so this is the very basics. If you want to learn more, there's lots of videos on YouTube, but hopefully this was helpful just to visualize and get a better idea of what the written instructions are and any patterns. And yeah, so thank you very much for being here. Have a wonderful day. Now go out there and craft your world.